Well, hello folks. This intrepid artist thought it would be a great idea to do another video whilst out plein air painting in the great outdoors. It's the middle of March and it's extremely cold and extremely windy. This weather's been called the beast from the east, and it was certainly bitterly cold. But before I get into any painting, I just want to say, if you have any questions, please type them in the comment box and I will be sure to answer them in the next video. So anything related to painting, anything related to creating art, that kind of thing, just pop them in the box down below this video and I'll read them and get back to you next time. So I say during the weekend the temperatures plummeted to at least -2 in some areas, and where I am here in East Anglia, we also had winds with gusts of up to 20 miles per hour. And I can say within 5 minutes of walking out in this weather on a Sunday morning, I was asking myself, this is such a bad idea. But I still persevered, and it's through my love of being out in nature, really, and being amongst the landscape, and combining that with painting it, really, is which just drives me into doing this kind of thing, really. I absolutely love being out in nature, and I'm very lucky, really, to have a local patch called Stourbridge Common and Ditton Fields, and Ditton Meadows, and this is where I'm choosing to paint today. So, as you can see, the wind is battering me quite a bit. I've set up a camera on the tripod and also have my postcard box, which is the easel I'm painting on, set up on the tripod as well. They do get blown around quite a bit, and in fact you might actually hear me swear once or twice during the video, so apologies for that. It's probably about the 10th or umpteenth time that my camera actually got blown over by the wind. I'm trying to do that and concentrate on painting, endeavouring to create a good painting at the same time is very, very difficult. Within 5 minutes my hands frozen, is that cold, and I could hardly feel the brush. In fact, the brush actually fell out of my hands quite a number of times, and so I had to really grasp quite tightly. And so obviously I kept the gloves on, just to sort of help a bit during the process, because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take for me to create the study. And it is just a study, it's not meant to be a finished painting. I just really wanted the experience of being out there in the cold, capturing it live, as opposed to using a photograph, which, photographs are very useful. They're very helpful for details and proportion and structure and form, but when it comes to colour or when it comes to tonality of the scene, they're not very useful, to be honest. You can certainly use them for that, but it's ideally we want to be getting out in nature and recording what it is from life. And it's really about getting out in nature, which is what it's all about for me, to be honest. It's a break from the normal routine of painting at the easel indoors and working towards exhibiting paintings. It's a break from doing all the admin side of things, doing all the social media, doing all the marketing, all that kind of thing, and also these kind of videos which take an awful lot of editing and putting together. In fact, I'm having to record a separate audio for this because on the day the wind was too windy, and the audio, if I was speaking, would have sounded pretty bad, to be honest. But it's all about having a good work ethic, I think. When it comes to being an artist, it's not enough to have talent. What you have to do is put the work in as well. Well, I'm not too sure about the idea of talent, really. I think you have a propensity to being good at certain things, like you might be a musician, so you might have a good auditory ear, a way of listening to things, a way of sort of acknowledging things or understanding things. Whereas for me, being a painter, I observe things all the time. I'm constantly looking and constantly analysing things. And I think that, along with communicating it from the eye, observing it, into the brain, trying to understand it, analyse it, and into the hand, trying to communicate it through symbols, through drawing, through visual rendering, that kind of thing. It's all takes a lot of work. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's not a gift. In fact, in some ways, I would say I work a lot harder than a regular person in a regular job. Most of my days don't finish till sort of 10 o'clock in the evening, if not later sometimes. Most days I spend about 8 hours painting, at least. Depending on the day, I try to give myself a day off, but I normally end up doing something art related, whether that's going to a gallery or doing some sketching outdoors, just general sketching, not as opposed to studio work or plein air painting. Although, having said that, on this day was my day off, basically. The Sunday, I tried to give myself the Sunday off, and so I decided, let's go out, do some painting in the freezing cold, join the beast from the east. But I absolutely loved it, and it's what is the actual the meaning of doing it all, doing painting, the struggling of trying to make it as an artist, trying to make ends meet, try not to sort of over saturate my social media, that kind of thing, try not to push everything towards my website, or try not to say, look at this, look at that, look what I'm doing. That's what I don't want to do. I have to be careful about over pushing what it is I do, and letting people just enjoy the art, essentially. and letting people to sort of value it for what it is, a unique individual creation from one person's perspective. So the other thing, now we're out in the open air, as I say, photographs are all very useful, and you're seeing this tree essentially through a photograph. So what you see colour-wise, what you see tonally, as in black and white or greys, will be completely different to what I saw when I was there, actually on the spot, in front of the tree, in front of the landscape. And so the colours I'm putting down, you may not be able to see. You'd have to actually go to the scene at the same time of day, at the same light, the same what I'm trying to think of, same climate. And that would be another good reason, one of many, to be painting outdoors, because what you're actually doing while you're observing and painting or drawing or sketching, whatever it is you're doing, you're actually building up a visual library within your mind, which you can always refer back to. For example, you may actually sort of be doing a painting from a photograph, and you think, oh, how can I really infuse this painting with atmosphere of a particular kind of day? And so if you've experienced this whilst out painting or sketching, and you can actually draw on that memory, draw on those feelings, draw on those colours and those tonalities, those lights and darks and the atmosphere, and bring that into your painting from a photograph. And that's why it's essentially a good idea to do as much painting outdoors and sketching as you possibly can, really. And it's also fun. It may not be a sort of regular kind of fun. Wouldn't actually. There's lots of people out there who do extreme sports and go to cold places and that kind of thing. I suppose this is a version of an extreme sport. It's not it's not overly pleasant in their experience. But it's something that's valuable, and it's something that really adds spice to your life, really. So it's important, when you're outdoors painting, or in fact doing any art at all, is to take as much time as you need and not to feel rushed when it comes to doing the actual painting and completing it. It's one of the things I struggle with. It's when you're trying to make it as an artist, when you're trying to sell paintings and make that your sort of living, the inclination is to sort of create as much and as fast as you create as much painting and finished works and as fast as you possibly can, essentially. It doesn't always work. You certainly need to be prolific as an artist to find success, I think, but the quality really sort of outweighs the quantity in the end. And if you're just banging out paintings willy-nilly and not creating the quality or taking the time to actually learn from the craft as well whilst you're doing it, then it will go against you in the end. So during this plein air painting, I do sort of resist the temptation of sort of packing it all up, because the weather is quite sort of torturous at the moment, and it's the wind is battling and bashing me, and in the end I'm afraid I actually have to stop the camera, because it's constantly sort of being blown down all the time, and it's I have to sort of just concentrate on the painting, really. It's worth it in the end. Well, for me it is. It's the final study I'm really pleased with, and even though it's not wholly finished, it is just meant to be a sketch, and I can then use that for further paintings. So I'm going to shut up for a while and let you enjoy the rest of the film. In the end, like I say, I don't show the whole process of filming painting, but I will show the end result. and hope you enjoy what you've seen. And like I say, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comment box and I'll be sure to answer them next time. So in all, I was probably out painting for a couple of hours within this weather. Don't forget the cold. When you're cold, in fact I was frozen to the bone, actually functioning slower. So it was taking me a little bit longer to mix the right colours, the right tones, and apply the paint in the correct place. Or at least that's my excuse. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It proved an interesting insight into painting plein air in difficult conditions. Do let me know what you think. Really appreciate your comments and thoughts. Don't forget to like the video, that would be a big help. It will help me get my videos featured a bit more on the YouTube platform. And I look forward to bringing you along with me on my next painting expedition. So see you next time.